Job growth continues to be a critical issue facing the nation. Joining me now from Milwaukee is Republican Governor Scott Walker. From Wisconsin, our guest host Jay Jordan continues with us. Governor Walker, thanks for joining us today. As always, good to see you.
Great to be with you.
You think Romney beats expectations, you think?
Hard to tell. I mean, the only thing that's been certain about this political process in the presidential race has been its uncertainty. So, we see ups and downs here in Wisconsin. Our primary is 3 weeks from today. If you would have asked me 6 months ago, would we still be relevant at the beginning of April, I would have probably laughed at you, and yet we may very well be playing a big role come the first Tuesday in April in Wisconsin. So I think it's an all-out battle. But in the end, I think more time for the candidates on the Republican side to hone their message, more time to get connected to the voters, I think in the end is a good thing if they translate that into a crisper message for the fall elections.
So you're not someone that thinks that it's been damaging to the prospects for the eventual nominee?
No, I've gone through primaries, and as a candidate myself who's gone through a primary, you never like a primary, but typically primaries make you stronger. I mean, I think the idea that assuming Mitt Romney is the ultimate nominee gets the nomination, I think it makes him stronger. I think it made him spend more time out in the trenches with people, and I think that's helpful on the way to the path to the White House, because I think it helps him to hone in on things, and instead of, a 59-point plan, he starts honing in on 2 or 3 or 4 issues that really define the difference between him and this administration. And I think there are many, but you got to hone in on a couple of them and make the difference.
Governor, you're in a unique position where you become a national sort of a flashpoint for all these battles that are going on. And I see arguments, depending on where it comes from, about the record in Wisconsin. I saw for a while it looked like you were succeeding in reducing unemployment. Things were going along well, but then I see from the other side that things it's not working, and it's actually been backtracked. Where are you in job creation, deficit reduction in Wisconsin right now?
Well, we took over a losing team, and just like Vince Lombardi did several generations ago with the Green Bay Packers, took over a losing team, got them to an even record, a winning record, and ultimately the world championship, one of many in the state for the Green Bay Packers. In our case, we went from losing 150,000 private sector jobs under my predecessor and the Democrats in charge at the time to leveling things off in 2011. We just had job numbers a week ago. For January here in Wisconsin, we were up 15,700 private sector jobs. Our unemployment rate has now this past month dropped to below 7% for the first time since 2008. It's much lower than states like Illinois to the south, where they've gone down the path that some of my opponents would like to go, with higher taxes and massive layoffs and things of that nature. They're at nearly 10% unemployment. Ours is below 7%. So I think by any measure, even you talked earlier about the Manpower survey out there nationwide. Manpower, a good Wisconsin-based company. For Wisconsin, that survey shows a healthy outlook for the next quarter for job creation in our state. About 3 times as many businesses surveyed said they're going to add jobs in the next quarter as those that are going to go in the opposite direction. So we see healthy growth. We see a healthy foundation. We're moving our state forward, but we still got a long ways to go.
I also every day see something about the recall. I see one side saying, yeah, that was good for them. Another one. What's the latest stuff that's happened there?
Well, the recall has not been called yet, but it'll probably be called by next week. It'll be the first week in June will be the general election. A month earlier will be a primary election. And, for us, it's a great opportunity. We go back to the days of the double-digit tax increases, the billion-dollar budget deficits we had in the past, and the record job loss. Or do we take this positive foundation I just talked about, build upon that, and provide greater prosperity and freedom for our people? I think that's the real test. And once people see the choice out there, they may not like everything we've done and every way that we've done it in the past year, but it's hard to argue with the results when we went from really heading backwards like Illinois is today to moving our state forward. I think in the end we're going to prevail. Our biggest challenge is not an individual opponent. It's literally the tens of millions of dollars coming in from outside of our state, from Washington, from the big government unions out there, and we're going to have to be able to counter that.
The polls at this point are close, right?
Very close. Our state is notoriously a close state. In 2000, 2004, we were the closest blue state in America. So oftentimes in our state, a 52% victory like I had 2 years ago is considered a pretty big win in a state such as Wisconsin, where it's very close. But, I'm still humbled by the fact that we earned the majority of the votes in Wisconsin in 2010. My hope is we can do that again. And I think really, beyond just politics, they complain to me all the time about are politicians that are afraid to make tough decisions. It's exactly what we did. And my hope is the message here is that we reward that, we don't punish that.
Well, you know, Wisconsin was the home of the public union, right? 1960 or something, and that's where you decided to try and take it back. It's going to be rough. Anyway, Governor, we appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Good to be with you guys.
Okay.
Have a good day.
All right. See you later.